Hey guys, and welcome to another brand new video. In this video, we actually have a pretty interesting article that came out over here talking about the fact of how the PlayStation 5 just isn't giving us enough reason to literally own and actually go and get a PlayStation 5 console up here in the first place. Now, as we've kind of been seeing, and we've had a lot of back and forth when it comes to Xbox, like where are the games, PlayStation, where are the games? Though PlayStation had a little bit more than Xbox. And as well, there's a lot of big negativity when it comes to the PlayStation as of recently. One really big thing is when it comes to the PlayStation Plus collection, and just a lot of other various things too. And I just think that some folks that are kind of on that weird teeter-totter mix are maybe sometimes actually choosing now to pass on the PlayStation 5 and go and pick up something like a PlayStation, or maybe even pick up an Xbox on the other side. So we'll talk about this, talk about the fact that some people think that Sony is giving us enough reason to actually own a console, and I'll always say honest, I like my console, I got mine, I think it's been a pretty good thumbs up in my honest opinion, but overall, I kind of want to hear your thoughts and comments to go throughout this video, so make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on. We have the Twitter and Twitch room down below if you guys want to follow. We have the Amazon links down below in stock right now. PlayStation, if you guys want to just go and say whatever, I don't care what this guy has to go and say, pick one on up, same with Target links, and let's dive into the video. So, for some odd reason, even though the PlayStation has been going into massive sales, and this is probably sometimes why these articles come out, because we go and hear the news how it hit 32 million consoles sold, and they're making so much money, and everything's been going so fantastic. Yeah, sometimes you want to go with the naysayers who go throw on in and want to give their thoughts and being like, well, yeah, we have 32 million consoles, but you probably should have bought a computer instead. So we actually have an article over here from The Gamer going and discussing on the fact that Sony isn't giving us enough reasons to literally own a PlayStation 5. 2 years on, and the offerings are, well, slim. Now, I'm going to go and say I think the overall general consensus, I think the PlayStation 5 has been I've liked it. I've done a lot of different games on Twitch. God of War was fantastic. I'm hyped up for the upcoming games too as well in these next few weeks. Still iffy on the PlayStation VR, but I will say I think I've liked my PlayStation 5 more than what I would have liked if I had an Xbox. I'm also a PC guy. I'm biased, but I kind of get the best of both worlds. Because right now I still stand by the PlayStation 5 for the exclusives when they come out. PC, if you just want to have all the general games like CSGO, Dota, League of Legends, StarCraft, or whatever. And then on top of that too, then you have a Switch for all the Pokemon and other various Nintendo games. And the Xbox isn't really needed if you have a PC at this day and age. But we have a little bit more other topics over here to cuff, so let's go dive into it. The PlayStation 5 is back. It never went away, but recently a fresh marketing campaign from Sony has been pushing the console as a fancy new prospect for new and existing customers who are yet to take the plunge into a new generation. So I can finally keep up with demand, and popping online to purchase a console is no longer a case of eagerly watching bots and message boards. Sony is aware of this. Its most recent earnings call and new video available online stressing the necessity now of updating from the PlayStation 4. And that's kind of been a big thing too, is that while the PlayStation 5 is dope, there was that really big crossover on the PlayStation 4 and 5, and a lot of folks are still kind of, iffy with it. And at the same time, they're trying to go and get all those folks be like, please, for the love of God, buy a PlayStation 5 so you don't have to keep making games on it. Please, 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 please. So, they're basically saying that they were privileged in procuring a PlayStation 5. Wasn't an issue. I got mine day one, just saying represent. I reviewed ahead of time of launch, and then the same unit sitting under their television for over 2 years later. It came to naturally replace my PS4 Pro thanks to backwards capability, because its predecessor no longer served a purpose. However, that's specific to me, and those lingering thoughts based on the prior gen are in possession of a perfectly capable machine that at least now plays most of the latest games. So, they had God of War, Horizon, Gran Turismo, and they were all cross-platform releases due to the similar technology and a need to reach a larger audience thanks to fewer PS5s out in the wild. And this actually might turn into a future video where we might actually have a chance for them to finally make this big push into PS5 purely. I feel like we're getting there. I feel like we're working there. And I don't think there's that many big games that are still launching on the PS4, which is good. We have 32 million PlayStations. We're until year 3. At some point, we're going to be finally used to PlayStation 5 being a normality, and then we're going to be talking about the PlayStation 6. It's just going to be stupid at this day and age. So the games look fine, play fine, and cost a little bit less, with now a defunct upgrade path making the ideal option, even for those who already own a PS5. Sony was doing what was necessary for business and right by its customers, but right now its tune has changed to one of indifference. They also had the inevitable removal of the PlayStation Plus. Now, I'm upset about this. I made a video about the PlayStation Plus. I talked about it. I told everyone to make sure you guys go and adopt, basically guys go get it. At the end of the day, make sure you guys go get all those games. You have a few weeks for it. But that's a big thing, because it was one of the best reasons, if you just got your console, to be introduced to a lot of different games, a lot of different other stuff. It's nice. It's cool. I really thought it was one of the best deals out there. Because let's say you're a brand new PlayStation 5 user, and they even said on their most recent shareholding meeting that a lot of the folks are the most recent people. Like, these are brand new folks who just heard about the PlayStation, or maybe they're just like turned 11 years old and this is their very first ever console. They said a really, really large majority of folks are people who are just now making their first PlayStation Plus account, very first time just ever checking out Sony games. And not let alone, we don't really have a good deal, like a Game Pass type deal. And that's why I think things get a little bit annoying, mainly because with that, we want people to go have games. We want people to go get the hookup. We want people to enjoy themselves. And, well, if you want to play a game like God of War Ragnarok, there is a lot of good marketing promise if you guys go and have things like, say, God of War, the first one, available, or things like, say, Days Gone, or you might actually introduce a lot of folks to the PlayStation Plus system in general. And for some odd reason, just a lot of people, like, maybe they don't use it. Maybe Sony thinks they're losing too much money. I really don't know, because all these games are old. And the fact that, well, people are still even concerned about this, it is a little bit of a weird thing to go and talk about. And I think there's a lot of good games with it. So people are sad, because they're also now, on top of being a new consumer, you now have to go pay extra money to have a chance where people used to have like multiple years to play these games for free. And I think that's really upsetting too, because it just was such a good deal. Like, I haven't had a chance to really rant about that so far. And I think that's a big thing, is that if you just buy a PlayStation 5, let's say in 2 months, when that's all fully gone, then, well, guess what? Then life sucks. Like, you have to go spend $20 on each one of these games, and you're not going to get anything out at the end of the day. So this isn't a really convincing argument for an expensive console. So even so, and I would agree, like, if you're taking away benefits after 2 years of folks already able to use it, that's a little bit lame. Like, I think that's really, really dumb. Especially because Game Pass still keeps other stuff. So even more, so watch when, the draw right now centers on your existing games being played at a higher resolution and frame rate. In the absence of pure exclusives, we've seen several updates for its first-party library to make games like The Last of Us and Days Gone play better than ever, further shrinking the justification for owning a PlayStation 5 in the first place. The Last of Us Part 1 and Returnal are on their way to PC anyway, joining Marvel's Spider-Man and God of War. And I wouldn't be too surprised if Ratchet & Clank as well makes the jump later on this year. So that's kind of a big thing too, like, it's just to see. So also saying the console's also becoming a thing of the past. Funny enough, outside of Nintendo. So I want to say Xbox is maybe a good example. Maybe because Xbox is like, bro, I just want you on Game Pass. Be on PC Game Pass, we don't care. Be on Xbox Game Pass, Xbox Series S Game Pass, cloud gaming, mobile gaming Game Pass, whatever. But Sony kind of keeps on being like, no, we want you to kind of almost have the Apple strat. We want you to get the new console. We want you to go and see this movie, this game, this really cool, like, exclusive that we made and fine-tuned for you guys. And it's always just been their marketing strat. But some folks just don't like that. Now, I still think I love it. Like, I love the God of Wars. I love these rare games because you know Sony is going to knock it out of the park. Their quality control is huge. Their games are huge. There's no dev crunch. And everything they do is very, like, it's good. Like, we like it. Like, this is like we want in the gaming industry. It's what I wish Xbox would be doing with all their studios. And, well, just do better. You know, at the end of the day, I really wish they would. And while that ethos is true, they do have a big need to diversify its audience and remain relevant in spite of these hardware shortages, resulting in further concessions being made alongside the industry as well. Which makes sense too, because if you had all these issues these past 2 years of even just selling the consoles, then it does become, well, a lot harder. Like, it really does become like a weird, it's just, if you can't sell the consoles, you weren't making any money. And I'm sure a lot of Sony executives were really worried about that at the end of the day. Now, I still think Sony's had better exclusives and better games, don't get me wrong, but not with folks like even kind of worrying about, like, say, PC. And now the fact that PC could maybe even be better, obviously, than, like, no doubt I have a PC myself, but the PlayStation 5 could be worse than a PC. And if you have all these different things like the PlayStation Plus not offering up competing processes, or we're also seeing a lot more of these games coming out to, say, PC quicker, then, like, the need for a PlayStation seems weirder. It's almost kind of a weird catch-22, because Xbox is like, bro, you play it on PC, you're good day one. PS5 is like, yeah, maybe a year later if you're lucky, because some even PS4, PS5 games still are not even on Steam. Now, if they did like a day one launch, I think they'd make so much more money, but they still have this weird marketing strategy all focused around, well, basically trying to go and sell consoles, because they made a lot of money. They made the most money off of the revenue from selling consoles themselves, as per noted by the shareholder meeting. So it's kind of weird because it's almost them soft-locking themselves into a console to keep on making money, and then maybe release the games later on whenever most folks have already played it. And same with the removal of this PlayStation, you know, all these PlayStation features. So it's a little bit weird because I do kind of see some of these things where PlayStation has actually had a few kind of opsy-turvy type things where you're taking away some features. You still know, we all know that Xbox has a better vibe, and we'll have to see how this year kind of goes with the Xbox Game Pass, because at the end of the day, like, I don't know. Like, I think it's cool. I wish PS Plus just was better. I think a lot of folks thought that. I wish the PlayStation exclusive games, they're good. I love them. I'll keep playing them. But, like, you sometimes you want the little extra push to go get it. I don't know. Like, there isn't, like, a lot of good vibes into it with them removing features. I'm still happy with my console. Obviously, like, this article is more kind of, like, harping on the big sales numbers. But at the end of the day, I kind of want to hear your thoughts. Like, do you guys think that Sony needs to do more? Are they just doing enough? Are they fine? Or, as well, do you think that they're kind of taking away stuff a little bit too frequently? Kind of let me know your thoughts and comments down below. So, always make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on, Twitter and Twitch room down below. Target Amazon links too to pick up your consoles. And I appreciate you guys all so much for watching.